This week I spent 14 hours in ANA's 777-300 business class cabin called The Room. I had very high expectations and I can already confirm this trip exceeded all my expectations. From the fantastic service, the excellent food, the superb seat, ANA is setting a new standard with this business class product. If you travel to Japan, there's really only one way to do it. Fly with ANA in The Room and your amazing Japan experience takes off the moment you step in the plane. Keep watching and you know what I'm talking about. This is the Frequent Business Traveler channel. Good morning. I'm flying into London Heathrow this morning to catch my flight with ANA to Tokyo Haneda Airport. ANA is Japan's biggest airline and I never flew with ANA before. I only know ANA from the fantastic plane liveries, like this turtle livery they use on one of their A380s, which flies exclusively from Tokyo to Honolulu. But also on the 777-300s, they have one plane with a special Pokemon livery. You have to be really lucky to get onto this one though. To London it only comes a few times a month. Let's see if we are lucky after a quick visit to the lounge. Here we are at the Singapore Airlines lounge in London Heathrow. ANA doesn't have its own lounge in London, so you can choose any Star Alliance lounge if you fly business class with ANA. Since we're going to Asia, I thought the Singapore Airlines lounge was most suitable and this lounge isn't bad at all. So after a little bite to eat and getting some work done, it's time to get to the gate and see if our Pokemon 777 is there. Here we are at gate B46 and unfortunately no Pokemon 777-300. Nevertheless, I'm excited to board the plane, so let's go. Oh, and before we board the plane, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. There's a subscribe button at the right hand lower corner. Thanks. Here we are, and this cabin looks spectacular with these suites, or better rooms. Let's have a look at the seat map. 2 rows of first class, 16 rows of business class, 3 rows of premium economy and the remaining 13 rows are regular economy. As you can see, there are more rows of business class than regular economy. I must say, I do like the color scheme of the cabin with a light wood pattern. I think it really fits the Japanese style. The seats are 38 inches wide, which is almost 1 meter. That's almost twice as wide as most regular business class seats, which are not seldom only 20 inch wide. And the screen is just as impressive. It's a 4K 24 inch screen. And I don't think I ever saw a bigger and more crisp screen than this one before in business class. There is an amenity kit, which we'll check out later. Headphones are of course provided. And there is this little storage area, which also holds some charging points. Then there are slippers, there's a nice fluffy pillow, a blanket, and that's something I start to appreciate more and more. A mattress topper with nice fresh clean sheets. Great. When switching on the entertainment screen, a video is starting demonstrating all the quirks and features of the room. And there are many, so especially when traveling the room for the first time like I do, it's quite interesting. Let's check out the amenity kit. The bag itself is made in collaboration with Ettinger, which is a British luxury brand. Lotion and lip balsam is from Avida. A reusable bag is included, which I actually did reuse because I used it for my laundry during this trip. An eye mask wasn't included, but is handed out on request. All in all, a pretty nice amenity kit. Before departure, the crew is coming by with champagne, and this is a Drapier Premier Cru, which retails for around €60 and is definitely a nice start of the journey. The footwell is pretty spacious and allows for lying diagonally, which proves to be quite handy, as I will find out later during the flight. And with all that, it's time for departure and a safety video. Even though we don't fly with a Pokemon livery, there's still some Pokemon influence in the safety video.
Dear passengers, we are now ready for takeoff. Please make sure that the seatbelt is securely fastened. Thank you.
Time to study the menu, and what's immediately obvious is the amount of choice. The drinks menu is quite extensive, with obviously also a selection of sake and soju. For the main meal you can choose between Japanese cuisine and international cuisine. Of course I'm selecting the Japanese cuisine. I cannot wait how that looks and of course how it tastes. Before arrival and during the flight there's another selection of dishes, and again plenty of choice, and you can combine any dish you want. Before the main meal arrives, let's talk about the wireless. A few hours before the flight, I received a voucher code which I could use for free internet. Yes, free Wi-Fi in business class as it should be. I did try it out, and even though I couldn't stream video, I was able to go to news sites and work on emails. Very good. So, connected to the Wi-Fi, familiarized myself with the room, time for the amuse to come, crab cake, and it's pretty nice. After that, we're going from one highlight to the other. From miso grilled duck to smoked salmon, it all tastes great, and it seems like I'm in an exclusive Okura hotel restaurant instead of a plane. The quality of the food comes, in my opinion, very close to the quality of the food in Air France La Première. Food shouldn't taste that good in business class. And there's still the dessert to come, and there's no need to select only one dessert. If you want, you can pick whatever you want. I go for the Gâteau Basque and the fruit, and it's excellent. After a brilliant meal, it's time to check out the lighting options, which you can do on the screen, and check out another interesting feature, before putting the seat in a lie flat position and get some sleep. Here we have a feature I never saw before, active noise control to reduce the noise in the cabin when you have your seat in a lie flat position. I tried it out, to be honest I didn't notice any difference, but I like the feature. Enough with the playing around, I've got my PJs on, time to put the seat in a lie flat position and close the doors of the room. I like the mattress topper with fresh linen which covers the complete seat. And I was afraid the lie flat seat was too short for my size, I'm 6'4", but because you can lie down diagonally and you have plenty of space to move your legs, it's a very comfortable place to be. I therefore had no issues at all getting a very good sleep. If you fancy something to drink or eat during your flight, there are plenty of options and the flight attendants are happy to make something for you. Talking about the flight attendants, extremely friendly and fantastic service. Just what you expect from a Japanese airline. Oh, and there are also some interesting Japanese features on the toilet. With a bit less than 2 hours to go, it's time for the pre-arrival meal. And I really like the ramen soup as well as the panini option. Maybe a bit too much, but I just want to try out both. And that's not a problem at all. And even though the panini tastes great, the ramen soup is excellent. I just cannot stop eating. I wish every flight in business class had this level of quality food. This flight turns out to be one of the best flights I ever had. And with that, it's almost time for a conclusion. But if you're still looking by now, maybe it's a good time to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. It's much appreciated. And with Mount Fuji in the background and a great sunset to top it off, I'm sure you can guess what the conclusion of this flight review will be. This was a fantastic flight. Sometimes you get disappointed if you have too high expectations, but in this case my high expectations were even exceeded. This experience was more a first class experience than a business class experience. The room is a great seat to be in, the food is just spectacular and you can choose whatever and how much you want, and service is outstanding. There's really no better way to fly to Japan or any other destination for that matter. I know ANA is having a first class cabin as well. I just cannot imagine what that must be like. Guys, I hope you like this video. My trip to Japan will also include a trip with the bullet train to Kyoto, the Haruka Hello Kitty Express to Osaka, and flying business class back to Europe with the Etihad A380. Subscribe to the channel and you don't need to miss it. See you next time.